power of permission, becoming your own power broker. How many of you from time to time feel like that you could use a little bit more power? Let me see your hands. Okay. All right, good. I think we have a few people here that need to stay on. In that link, and by the way, you're going to be getting this entire PowerPoint presentation, and I do that because I'm hoping that you'll use it. Change my name if you want to take it to a group. I hope that you start a mastermind group with this idea of Soulful Wednesday, or whether it's the power of permission or any of these concepts in here, because this is just information that causes us to get out of our own way. And this link here is a link. Stop waiting for permission and move forward. And there's a number of links like that in here. So as we go through this, and when it's time, I'm going to send it to you. I don't want to send it to you right now because, you know, you'll be looking at it. Maybe I want you to really not pay attention to me, not pay attention to what I say, not pay attention to what I present. I want you to pay attention to yourself. I want you to pay attention to every little thought that gets triggered. I want you to pay attention to what's that feeling I'm feeling in here right now. Why is that feeling? And jot that down. That was an interesting feeling. You got to learn to pay attention to yourself to really become a power broker. Now, we're talking to a bunch of brokers here, a lot of agents. So let me ask you a question. When you decide to go out and broker a property for someone, what does that entail? It entails that you do an agreement with them, you go out, and the product is already there, correct? Is that right? Somebody give me yes. You can unmute your mic and say yes. I just want to know you're there, because when I have the screen up, I don't see your lovely faces. Mike, yes? Is that true? All right.
Yes.
So so if you get a listing, is that a little bit of power for you? Yep, you get the listing agreement. Now you have an opportunity to be able to know that you have some income coming in, but also to get to represent some very nice people. And you just got some power in your hand. Now, do you have to go build the house? No. Do you have to go and manufacture a house? No. What you're doing is representing something. And this idea of power of permission, that power is already in you. So when I say you want to become a power broker, your own power broker, what I want you to do is take a listing of permission. Permission, the power of permission, that permission, you already got the power. I want you to have permission to tap that power, and I want to give you the how-to. Many years ago, President Lincoln went into a church. When he was leaving, they asked him, they said, hey, what'd you think of the sermon? He said, I didn't think very much of it. He said, it was horrible. And they said, why? He said, because all I did was hear a bunch of talking, and they never asked me to go out and do anything great. Well, that's not going to happen today. That's not going to happen with me. I don't want you sitting here listening to me. I want you listening to yourself and your heartbeat and what you're thinking. And I want you to go out and do something great with that today. And that greatness today is that you leave here as your own power broker. Because how many of you have lived long enough to realize if you don't do it for yourself, no one else is going to do it for you and give you the power? Do you agree? Okay, so let's go and move on through here. And as I said, I'm going to share this entire presentation with you. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to keep getting what you're getting. You want change, make some. That's easy to say, but without power, you just won't do it. So where does that power come from? How can I become my own power broker? How can I take control of my circumstances? How can I take control of the bad news? This week alone, I've talked to 2 people that are losing their house. I've got people that are locked up without, not with authority. There's all kinds of things that people I talk to every week with the kind of things I'm involved in. So how do you still maintain that power despite some of these circumstances that are going in our life, whether it's relationships issues, money issues, financial issues? How can you still have power to live above that? So that's what I want to talk about. In the smallest step, 20 years from now, you will not be disappointed by the things you didn't do, but the ones you did, okay? 20 years from now, you will not be disappointed by the things you didn't do, by the ones you did. So throw off the bow line, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, and discover. remember, we've been going through this for the last couple of weeks, this test. And I want you all to ace this test. And the only way we're going to ace this test is to find that power and to become our own brokers. No one's going to do it for you. How many of you ever entered into a relationship saying, oh, I finally found the one. Oh, my knight in shining armor, or my princess, or maybe when I have kids, or maybe when I get the new job. There's always something out there that's going to give us what we're looking for. And then how many of you have come up disappointed sometimes, right? So how do we ace this test? And then permanent success, power to do it now, all the prayers answered, getting nature's law to work for you, free from all forms of negative thought. And remember, we always tell you to do a score 1 to 10. Last week, I asked you to print out a bunch of these and every day take this test just for about 21 days, because it takes 21 days to attend to have it. And then you just keep rating yourself every day. Say, am I getting stronger? Am I getting better? And am I becoming my own personal power broker? I want you to be great real estate people, but you won't be great real estate people if you're not a great power broker for yourself. Jim Rohn, I know you might be tired of me talking about Jim Rohn, which is one of my mentors, Tony Robbins' first mentor. He says, work harder on yourself than you do your life. Work harder on yourself than you do your business. Work harder on yourself than you do any relationship. And that is the key to success. So I want you to ace this test. Again, for those that are guests, I ask you, when you get this, print out a bunch of these and every day just rate yourself, because what will happen, you'll see that a lot of the stuff going on in your life is not really lions and tigers and bears. That's what this Soulful Wednesday is all about. I keep bringing this slide up every week intentionally. It's because I want you to stay on the safari and to go through this jungle of your mind and discover the deep reservoirs of that untapped well in your soul. And all the lion, tigers, and bears in your life are just imaginary and illusionary. And I'll keep saying this every week because they're only illusionary. And I want you to take that test for about 21 days straight, because what'll start happening, you'll realize all that stuff I thought was bothering me a week ago was just illusionary. Go back to this. This is our Soulful Wednesday, kind of our worksheet. Again, today, I'm really focusing again on truly, who would you be if you did not know who you were? We don't know who we are. We have not been a very good power broker, because every time we've raised up a little bit, someone has smacked us down. Or every time we thought we were there, we overate. Every time we thought we did something, we overdrank. Or every time we thought we had our finances straight and we were all celebrating, and next thing you know, there's a financial crisis that comes. And then we don't think we're still a power broker. We still think that we're subject to what's going on outside, when all that power is within. It's all there. You don't have to go manufacture. It's like going and getting a listing. You just got to learn how to write yourself a listing agreement and writing yourself a permission sheet. So again, who would you be if you did not know who you were? And what would you create or accomplish in life if you knew success was guaranteed and you could not fail? Hang out with me a little bit more every Wednesday, and I promise you, you will become such a power broker in your life. You may go on and do $390 million in sale every year. Like a young man that I'm so proud of that does that every year, $390 million, the second in the United States. And I had the privilege and opportunity of helping him stay out of his own way many years ago. And he's not stopped since. Paul Saperstein, breaking his barriers as a young man, 14 sales, 30 sales, 40 sales, 50 sales, and then 100, because he became a power broker. Not any magic. He worked harder on himself than he did his business. I know you might be tired of seeing this, but I want to keep reminding us, because when I get into where I'm going to make you a power broker, you have to understand this. This is what we all been programmed to think. We are not this. We are not those things that happen to the outside of us, or how we feel, touch, taste, smell, and hear. And it's life. It's not what we. It's not how we see life. It's how we are. So my goal in everybody that I mentor is to get them out of this programmed self and get them back to their original state that they got here with. They got here full of love, full of joy, full of happiness, full of ambition, full of creativity. And yet, eventually, that started being whittled away at, as we know about the heart, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, because this is called the spiritual side of success. This is what Soulful Wednesdays is all about. And there's no power if you're going to try and live here, and I'm going to show you why, and I'm going to show you the new words we added to our chart today. And by the way, the soul, this is the only way to run your life. Life is a train. We're on a journey, and if you try to run it with emotions, forget about it. The woman that this week that called me, she's desperate, no money, losing her house, on the real estate hamster wheel for many years, but yet she's 69 years old and she's broke. How did that happen? Because no one ever taught her to be a power broker. This is the chart that we work on every week, and every week I add new words. This week I add, remember, this is the side that was the body, right? This is not what we came here with. We came here with this. We came in here, we were born as a thermostat, but we were taught to become a thermometer. This is how we came in. This is how we've been programmed. I want to get you to live over here and be this power broker, because this is the only place it is. So this week, the emphasis is on here. I added these words. And so the one you had last week, you can still keep that one, but I want you to probably do away with this one and put this up on your wall, on your mirror, and say, am I living over here today? Or am I going to live over here? Am I going to be the thermostat today and be the power broker? Or am I going to live over here? And here's the new words. I'm sorry, they're getting smaller because this is getting to be a little bit, yeah, we will share the link. Someone's asking for it now. Permissive freedom of others. See, on this side, we've become permissive. Most of us are permissive. We only tie that to sex or to relationships and all that. It goes throughout our entire lives. We've been permissive. We allow that negative input that we received maybe as a kid from a loved one or from a parent, someone who was verbally abusive. We allow ourselves to be permissive, and we give everybody that we're so permissive. They all have the freedom to do to us what they want. Everyone has the freedom to keep telling us our own thoughts. It has the freedom to tell us that not good enough, right? So this is the way we've been programmed. This is the ego side. This is the soul side. You came here with this. You were programmed to live like this. So in order to be a power broker, you've got to go from being permissive and becoming full of permission for yourself. Because here is the freedom of others. You give in to others. You let them be a soul sucker. You let them, rain on your parade. You give them permission to lick the red off of your candy. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Move to the right side. Give yourself the permission to be free, your own freedom, freedom of self. Because then you can help other people get out of here and come over here. But not until you're a master over here yourself. And folks, it's every day, you've got to think this way. You've got to keep coming back to this. So I added that word there, permissive, freedom of others. So you want to live your life for others, then keep being permissive, and you'll stay over here doing these things over here. Over here, when freedom of self, you'll start having all these freedoms. That's power. The other word I added today was exclusive. See, when you live over here, you think life is just exclusive for others, maybe not for yourself. Or you might make it big, because remember, this is the performance side. This is all about performance over here. This is all about personhood. This is all about performance. This is all about the person on this side. So when you live over here, this comes up. This automatically follows. Over here, when you live as a thermometer and you beat yourself up and you just keep trying to, be good and you get riches and all that, and this doesn't follow. One of my favorite stories is Robin Williams. He constantly made the whole world laugh, but yet he was so sad inside that he couldn't handle it anymore, because he was so programmed over here. No one got him to think about this over here. So right away, he thought that he was exclusive, that it was all up to him and the world was on his shoulder. He had to make them laugh because he was so sad. And he thought that all that exclusivity rested on him because he was probably taught that God is exclusive. He was probably taught that if he did make it big, now it's just him and the world's not going to move with him or what. This exclusivity is ugly. It's ugly no matter how you look at it. Life is not exclusive for anybody or anything, and I don't believe God is exclusive. I used to believe that. I was involved in my spirituality and in my particular theological influence that it was exclusive. And I loved that box, to be really candid. That was a long period of my life, about 30 years. It was comfortable. I knew the little rules. I knew this, I knew that. But there was something so missing. I couldn't figure it out. Because in the day I realized that God is not exclusive, he's inclusive. That life is not exclusive. It's not only for the 2% to be wealthy. It's for me too. I realize it's all inclusive, because if I would just remain as a thermostat and not a thermometer, I could become, I'm included. I'm a power broker. I don't need anybody, anything. Now you may say, well, wait a minute, Fred, I thought it was all about others. We all are where we are because of maybe God or life, however you want to term it, and others. That's true. That's not what I'm talking about, but that where it doesn't apply to me. And then the other word I added, we live over here. If we're living as a thermometer, it's always about, who am I? Wow, I thought I had something going. Why do I always screw up? Who am I? Who am I? And you know, there's secret thoughts. There's nobody on this call, nobody. Now, if I'm wrong, please write me. My email's all over this thing, answers@defalco.com. I want you to write me and tell me I'm wrong. There's no one on this call that would want us to do a PowerPoint presentation, even one day of your life, of all the thoughts that went through your head. Right? How many of you? If you do, write me, because I want to interview you. I need to interview you. So this over here, when we live as this thermometer, we definitely are asked, who am I? Who am I? Oh, am I good enough? Am I good enough? Once you learn that you go back to where you came from, you see, in becoming a power broker, again, just like going and become a listing agent, you real estate agents, you don't go manufacture the house. It's already there. You came with all this. It was taken away from you and you were reprogrammed. You got to reprogram the CPU, the computer. And that's what this is all about. And remember, we always talk about the most important characteristic is courage. And the word cur in there, the Latin word for heart. The reason we can't stay over here on this side is because the heart has been eaten away at and we are not courageous, because we don't know how to become our own power brokers. And I will spend the rest of my life with you and for you to help you become a power broker if you are willing and you want to do this. Because I want everybody on this call, everybody in my organization to learn, don't come over here. Don't say, I need leads, I need this, I got to get this, I got to beat myself, no, you focus over here. Jim Rohn, work harder on yourself than you do anything else. And the only way this works is by new input. How do you reprogram a computer? You put new information in it. And when you put this new information in, all these calls every morning, how many yesterday walked away empowered from that phenomenal database management that George Philbeck did? 2 months ago, one of us had a $4 million sale because of that database management program he did yesterday. And then Tom Martin's on Friday, you know, and then when you all share, this is the kind of thing you've got to do to get this to move up. And that is where you'll stop saying, who am I? And you say, who I am. Who I am. You know, you don't know who I am. That's not what I'm talking about, that arrogant feeling. But I know who I am. Now, again, I always tell people in advance, I am not here to change anyone's thoughts or spiritual thoughts or religious thoughts. I do not believe a universal theology is impossible, but I do believe a universal experience is possible with life. And if you're more comfortable calling it life or the power or whatever, I call it God and I call it my creator. And I'll tell you what's really interesting in the Jewish scriptures, God is described as I am. And the old story of Moses, where it says, Moses says, when he was supposed to go free the people of Israel in Egypt, he says, who should I tell him that sent me? He said, you tell him, I am. I am that I am. And you know what? A lot of people, a lot of my religious friends that love to debate with me theologically, they just have a real problem when I tell them I'm the great I am also. My kids are a part of me. You think I don't want them saying, I am of him. I am just as he is. I want them to be greater than me. And you know what? Just my thoughts. Life wants you to be greater than life. God wants you to be greater than life. And that's why I always say, you stop praying these prayers. What will you do for me, God? That's what thermometers do. Turn up the heat, God. Turn it up. Turn up the heat, life. Give me more life. But over here, when you live over here, it's very simple. You get to a point, it's all about what can I do for you, God, or life. So it's a big difference over here. So when you become a power broker, you will stay here. You will stay here, not on a daily basis. Oh my gosh, you bounce over here. You got to come back. You bounce over here. You got to come back. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. We talked about that last week. So these are the words I added for this week. These are the words I added this week. So I want you to focus on that when you get this link. Andres, you can share that link right now. And you're going to get this entire PowerPoint presentation. And then remember last week, we talked about ace your test of life by outwitting the devil, which is you, our inner dark self. This is from Napoleon Hill. That's the book that wasn't published for 75 years. And this is all of the, this is a great little fun inquiry into that book, because there's a lot of great stuff on YouTube, how it affected people's lives. This is the free audio book. This is the extended audio book, the one that I love, that tells how he risked his life with this book. It's just a phenomenal, phenomenal story. Not only a phenomenal story, but you will become the most powerful power broker for yourself and your family and your loved ones and for life if you dive into this. So, last week I asked some people to share some letters of permission. Toya, do I have your permission to share your letter?
Yes, of course.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's for those of you that are visitors, the Soulful Wednesdays and the Spiritual Side of Success, a lot of what we do is based on this, a mini course for life. It's a little book with 18 pull-out lessons, okay? And this mini course for life is done by an organization called attitudinalhealinginternational.org, a nonprofit. I love these people. I love them. And this is all based on this big, thick volume called A Course in Miracles, all whittled down to 18 simple lessons. Toya is a graduate of that course along with me, because I always do them with my mentees. As they're doing them, they text them to me every day, and I actually stop and I share with you. And what this has done for her and her family, I am blown away. And not blown away, I really am not, because she applied herself and she wanted to become a power broker, folks. And I'm going to share with you her letter, and I'm going to share that with you. And I think that, I think she's there. I think she's going to be a power broker the rest of her life, I believe, without a question. And Toya, thank you for taking the time to send this to me. This feeds me, right? This is what we're all here for, because you caused me to now get out of my thermometer side and move over to my other side. So major soul and heart renovation. She's talking about this year. Too many learned stories taught to my heart about myself that weren't true. Abandonment lessons tried to stay living at my core. Thoughts of unworthiness just continued to grow from there. If I didn't do everything perfectly, I didn't deserve anything great. Seeking the peace that only God can give, learning the truth. And the whole world is changing. The world is, Toya, and one of the things is, right, I think we've talked about it, but see, the world didn't change, right? Because we never see things the way they are. We see things the way we are. So you changed. So guess what? You are right. Your world changed. And not only did it change for you, it changed for me, because when you gave me this letter, my world knocked out brighter. So this is the magic of this. And this is how we all become, the thermostat instead of the thermometer. I am giving myself permission to continue being and following greatness. This is a great place to live. I live here now. Toya, she even said her last name, Toya Barroso, I give you permission to see yourself through God's lens of adoration and tenderness. His creation of you is worthy of love, orchestrated by him, and you were created to be light. Permission to turn any pain to power and to help change the lives of others. Permission to believe you can do anything you can dream of. The past was for us, not done to us. Oh, I love that. You got that message loud and clear. You have permission to bless your husband and children by being a beautiful woman of grace. Permission to be light. Permission to change the odds you used to see as against you. You have permission to bless others, live other lives by compassion and empathy, and feel joy from that. You have permission to forgive and to stand back up when something makes you fall on a daily basis, right, Toya? Permission to take time for yourself, to take care for yourself, and to know that it's okay to do so. Permission to have friendships with healthy boundaries and still be a welcoming heart. Permission to pray and watch God work everything out for the good. Permission to plan trips across the world. Permission to be baptized in the Jordan River with my family. This is a personal value of hers. Permission to laugh and share life with people who love you back. Permission to breathe and let your shoulders down. Permission to not carry the world alone. Permission to be proud of the kids you get to raise. Permission to make your health a priority. Permission to be a confident woman with a unique beauty from God. Permission to have financial freedom and to have a stress-free outlook on life. Permission to be a creator of incredible works. Permission to watch my goals come to fruition. Permission to enjoy life and to love. Permission to see love that you didn't initiate. Oh, I love this one. But you did initiate it. You initiated so much love in me by how faithful you were when you were doing your course with me. Permission to see love that you didn't initiate. Permission to see the good through the lessons. Permission to count all the blessings and be blessed. Permission to grow each day, and permission to be loved and be loved because you were created for that. And you know, I'm so glad you put this one in here, and to be loved. Most of the time, we don't have a problem loving. Most of the time, we have a problem accepting the love that we've gotten. So, Toya, can everybody just take your phones off mute and let's give her a beautiful round of applause. You're talking about a permission letter, Toya. You blew it out of the water. You know, George always does the mic drop. I don't have the mic, but here you go. Boom. You know, this is what I'm talking about, folks. I think Toya is now a power broker. What do you think? Anybody think so? And then I have in here some more resources on permission. Study that. And so I had two more. I don't want to put you on the spot. There were two more of you said you're going to go ahead and work on your permission letter. Did you get that done? Will? You may have had a busy week. Will, are you there? I had a couple of people said they're going to try and work on theirs. You're not there? Will? How about Tracy? Is she here? All right. Okay. Maybe they didn't. All right. Okay. But anyway, everyone's saying, Toya, thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now, my email is answers@defalco.com. If you want to participate in this course, okay, if you go online, you can buy this book for $15. I buy them wholesale by the cases. By the time I mail them to you, by the time you take time and drop them off at the mailbox here, it's $12. Send me an email with your home address. Tell me why you want to do this. If you tell me the why and it's big enough, I might give you a different deal that you don't even have to pay the $12, but make sure I have your home address, because I love getting these. I've had as many as 5 at one time participate with me, and I'm reading them all day long. So you can imagine the benefit that I get and the joy that I get watching these people. So if you want to participate in a mini course for life, which is absolutely the blueprint and the manual for becoming a true power broker, your own personal power broker, this is the course, folks. Look at this. It's only half of this little book. I think it's, this is it. And then all these are 18 lessons you pull out every day. So if you want to join me and become a power broker, I would love to have you. Love to have you. So with that, I want to just go ahead and end with this poem that I love, and it's in my other materials. I know it's kind of small here on the screen, but it'll be in your stuff. Dear human, you've got it all wrong. You did not come here to master unconditional love. That is where you came from and where you will return. You came here to learn personal love, universal love, messy love, sweaty love, crazy love, broken love, whole love, infused with divinity, lived through the grace of stumbling, demonstrated through the beauty of messing up often. You did not come here to be perfect. You already are. See, that's the key. You already came here as the thermostat. You already came here. You came here perfect. You got reprogrammed. I want to reprogram you again. The mini course wants to reprogram you, okay? Flawed and you came here to be gorgeously human, flawed and fabulous, and then to rise again into remembering. That's what Toya did. She rose again into remembering. But unconditional love, stop telling that story. Love and truth does not need any other adjectives. It does not need modifiers. It does not need the condition of perfection. It only asks that you show up, you participate in this course with me, and do your best, that you stay present, feel fully, that you shine and fly and laugh and cry and hurt and heal, fall, get back up, and play and work and live and die as you. It is enough. It is plenty. Unknown. This is really an amazing thing. I found this for two of my granddaughters on their 21st birthday, and I have just put this out all over the world, literally. I love this thing. So if you want to participate in this, don't communicate by phone or text, please, but my email, answers@defalco.com, all those slides that you got. So with that, I want to stop the share because this is all about you. Now, I gave to you, please give back to me because that is what it's all about. So let's give to each other, not me, but each other. Let's give to each other like Toya just did.